Planned Brotherhood is not affiliated or associated with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is a registered trademark of Planned Parenthood, Federation of America Incorporated. Again, Planned Brotherhood is not affiliated or associated with Planned Parenthood. Again, Planned Parenthood is not affiliated or associated with Planned Parenthood. Is that enough? Are we tripping you?
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to our new episode of Planned Brotherhood. We recorded this episode from a hotel room in Portland. It's the first of a couple of episodes recorded in Portland. This one has guests, returning guests, Kelly and Zach. Enjoy.
Please express your insecurity into the mic. We need to do sound check.
Oh, we're really doing sound check?
Yeah, she sounds good. She sounds crystal clear.
I feel like all of the episodes I hear lately, you guys sound real... I mean, you sound okay, but I get the feedback.
Yeah, we've had some audio issues as of late. No need to address it on air.
Make sure that didn't come up.
I didn't think we were on air.
We're always on air, Kelly. Just assume.
Oh, okay.
If I was recording, you never know what gold's going to come. Probably none from you.
Dick.
It's just a microphone in front of me. I've been nothing but nice all weekend.
I know, and then that's another reason I don't like being on the podcast, is I always end up...
Unleashing PJ's anger. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know what causes it.
I love you, PJ.
Let's talk about, how do you think you did moderating the live show?
That's episode 88, The Mansion Family.
Do we really want to go there?
Well, obviously, the live show as a whole was terrible.
Yeah. And Kelly was the most tolerable only because she wasn't fucking distorted the whole time like us.
Yeah.
Look at the screen. Don't look at the screen. Why are you not looking at the screen?
We were giving you conflicting information, to be sure.
Yeah. Well, I blame that on Nick, because we were all about, like...
drinking from 10 a.m. on.
Don't focus on the chat, don't focus on the chat. And then if you listen back, it's like every 3 minutes, Kelly! Why aren't you reading it?
But the only issue I had was that when you were reading from the chat log, it was about how great your boobs looked.
That's not fully true. I was fascinated.
You only voiced the compliments that you got. Nothing contributing to the show.
There weren't any other compliments. If there were, I was always like, oh, this person wants to see Alvina, or this person thinks Casey's hot, or this,
Right.
But I was really fascinated with all the people that were in love with me in there. However...
Good turnout. I hope they come back for our second live show, if ever.
Yeah.
We're going to promise to be sober the second time around.
I prompted some discussions and question asking and things like that. I feel like I did
somewhat. You listened back to it, right?
I feel like I at least did a better job than the guy who was passed out. Because he was passed out.
Well, who knows how he would have done.
Exactly, but because he
we could say his name. He'll be on the show again. We're talking about Sam here, right?
Yeah. But
I almost would have preferred a passed out guy. I mean, really?
Her only defense is to throw down her mic and stop talking. Throw it back at him. That's all I'm saying.
That's PJ's wife's.
So you heard that one too.
Yeah.
A lot of callbacks. Should we explain where we are?
Sure.
Kelly, take over.
We are in the lovely Beaverton, suburb of Portland.
Oh yeah, I would have just said Portland. Nobody needs to know we're in Beaverton.
Sorry.
That's like if we recorded in Tacoma, I'd say we were recording from Seattle.
That's stupid.
Okay.
That's like how I tell people I grew
does.
up in Seattle.
Do you do that?
Yeah, and then they go, oh yeah, what area? Tacoma.
Yeah. So not Seattle at all?
I'm always like, Portland. I grew up in Portland, but more towards the coast. Like an hour towards the coast.
It's still technically in Washington,
yeah,
but
yeah.
Portland, if you look at the state on top of it.
Yeah.
And why are we here, Nick? What do you think about that?
Yeah, why are we
natural?
Here? Why did I spend $52 on
Okay.
Yeah, we really haven't been getting our money's worth yet.
I disagree, and we'll get into that. We're here for the Bridgetown Comedy Festival. We're going to see Never Not Funny tonight, and Podcast.com, for those that are curious.
And what.com?
Podcast.com.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it's good that I said it again for the listener also.
Yeah, they definitely need our endorsement.
We're going to see some Ass Cat tonight. Those two alone, that's worth $50. We just didn't get to it last night because of issues that PJ was having. PJ?
No, these were not issues that I was having.
I'd say,
I call it an issue.
just as a teaser, you had the most issues of anybody when we were under a certain influence.
I don't feel
and not
that
the one
way.
we're usually under.
I don't feel that way. I feel like I was so aware and awake and
We should specify just because people are going to think Coke and they're going to think less of us.
yeah,
It's natural. It's mushrooms.
yeah.
Unprofessional.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, I scored some mushrooms from a guy whose name I obviously won't say a couple of weeks ago, and I've been sitting on them. And PJ and I, Zach, you'd had no experience prior to last night, right?
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Kelly, what about you? I know you weren't involved in the festivities last night. I mean, you were and you weren't.
I was not involved, nor do I ever do illegal drugs. I don't know why you're laughing.
I don't know either. I'm sorry.
I'm not looking at the internet. My computer broke.
She's
and
moderating.
It's
cool.
Oh my god, this guy really likes my boobs.
But the two times I've tried mushrooms twice before. The first time they were just bad, I feel like. Like the ones we ate yesterday, they looked like something that would fuck us up. It fucked me up almost just to look at them.
Even who we'll get to later, our resident drug expert Ben was looking at them, going, "Good Googa Mooga."
Is that really what he said?
Yeah, he always says that. Good Googa Mooga or good Googly Moogly. Yeah, he really thought we scored.
Yeah, so apparently they were good, and I was skeptical.
So we bought 2 8s. You bought 2 8s, which I did
originally was one for each of us.
Yeah, because we had both, tried it before and never felt anything.
Right, but the first time, like I said, they were really bad. The second time, it was mixed into chocolate, which I like the idea of, because the worst part is choking that shit down.
And also, our previous mushroom experiences were separate from each other.
That's right. We needed to do it as brothers, and it had to work. And I'm happy to say that it did. Although I wasn't sure of it. Like, we ate them, and I was like, guys, really? Because Ben was fucking tripping the second he ate them on something else before he ever got there.
So we meet up with Ben. Ben is a friend of Zach's and mine. Well, friend of Zach's is probably a strong word.
Especially after last night.
when we all lived in Yakima, he worked at Olive Garden with us, and he's who I did mushrooms with the first time. So we're in Portland. Zach's here. Ben,
but unsuccessfully, right?
Ben lives here. Yeah, not for me. Ben lives here too, so we called him, and it was like, it's always kind of the Ben show. It's like, we're doing all this stuff tonight. Do you want to meet up for a beer? And then it was, we meet him for a beer, and it's like, no, fuck everything you guys are doing.
First of all, we meet him, and all he wants to talk about is the 2 bands that he's in.
Yeah.
And the festival he played last night with 150,000 people, or some exaggerated number. But he was cool. He was harmless at that point. I felt like he was cool.
Yeah.
He just talked a lot, and it was about him. But I do that too. We have a fucking podcast, for God's sake.
So we were headed back to the hotel. Our meters were expiring and everything like that. He wanted us to go everywhere in Portland.
Except for our hotel.
Yeah. But we told him, come back, we've got mushrooms. And then that hooked him in. And I was excited to do mushrooms with Ben because I'm like, he's
if anybody knows, this guy knows, right?
Yeah. He's the hippie drug user, and, he'll help us out. So we go back there. He splits it up for us. He gives you and I, Nick, bigger amounts than he left for himself.
Right. We got some pretty precious-looking caps.
Yeah.
That's what they're called, right?
Precious
looking at me.
Yeah.
So we chew them up. Ben's like immediately affected. It's mixed in with everything else earlier in the day.
Yeah. I think Zach's first guess was meth. Like when we met him at the bar when we first met up.
He was talking nonstop.
Yeah,
and
motor mouth that guy.
Yeah.
More so than usual? I don't know him that well.
And cold sores more so than usual, too.
I didn't know we were going to comment on that and use his real name at the same time.
So he mixes it up. You jump in the shower because you want to bail on us immediately.
No, I've been talking about the shower for like 3 hours. That was my ultimate goal.
Yeah.
And so we chew him up, and he said it may take like a half hour, 45 minutes to kick in. And he was already talking about how he's tripping. I don't know how you were, Zach, before I went to the shower, but I wasn't feeling anything.
I wasn't feeling much, yeah.
Yeah. Then I got into the shower and I started seeing a little bit, but not in the way that I always imagined that tripping is like.
Yeah.
The wallpaper didn't try to eat me at any point in the night. Like, it was just colorful and sometimes really scary.
Yeah.
Well, half an hour into it, I was bummed because I was like, oh, another failure.
Yeah.
And then I started getting a little hot, and then we were watching something. I can't remember what we were watching, but there was like a shootout scene, and it really started to freak me out.
I think it was the Four Brothers with
Four Brothers.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
And Ben says this is a bad thing to watch when we're on mushroom. And then it started coming in waves, like super high, and then
right when Kelly shows up is when I started to feel it, which is unfortunate for you. I'm sorry. Because you were meeting us at the hotel, you were coming from out of town, and the second we stepped outside,
now you're looking at 4 glossy-eyed stoners. Who are like,
and I just driven 4 hours.
Just did all the drugs
so
without you.
Bad.
But you knew that we had mushrooms. You just didn't know. The plan originally was we were going to take them later in the night after we saw some comedy.
Yeah,
because we didn't want to be affected at the show. But we had an impulsive moment and decided to do it, and didn't warn you ahead of time. But I warned you as soon as I got outside, as I was sweating and eating my own arm. So, was it instantly noticeable, or did you have to have me tell you?
No, PJ said, you look like Legally Blonde when I was walking up, because I had a suitcase on wheels.
What was that? You look like Legally Blonde?
That's what he said. Not like I look like, what's her name? Just, you look like Legally Blonde right now.
You look like the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, like
you look like the lesser sequel of Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde, or any any movie about a powerful woman moving to the city. Like, you're just, I don't know.
So every time you see
very
luggage on wheels, you think Legally Blonde.
No, she had an air of confidence about her. It's always like
and a pocket dog.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish. No, but as soon as PJ said that, I was like, oh, God. Oh, God.
And Zach, I felt like you were the most quiet of the night, to be sure.
Yeah, I didn't. I
But
was
you,
like,
you
PJ,
had,
like,
he divided up 4 ways. Like you said, PJ, we got the bigger bulk of it.
yeah.
And Zach, I
yeah.
think you had the least of all,
Yeah.
but you'd never done them before.
No, it kept coming in waves. Like I get really, really, really high, and then I just kind of come down a little bit, and then I get really, really high again, and just like.
Yeah, that's how it was.
This is so exciting for people to listen to us talk about.
I
But
know.
it's, I mean, I know it wasn't exciting for you, Kelly, until we got to that first bar, and you can get some drink down your gullet.
Dear God.
Yeah, so we leave the hotel and we're walking.
I had to leave the hotel.
Could have made a whole
I should
episode about
stress
that fucking carpet too in the hallway.
Yeah, really.
And
And
what's funny is,
normally it takes you a while to leave any place, just like when we were over at Dippers.
yeah, I
just now
love to
before
just
the-
hang out. I love to
Yeah.
like pre-funk
And
as long as I can.
Hang out,
for a
man.
girl, I feel like it took me like 30 seconds to freshen up. Because I just sat in a car. I was at work all day. I threw on some fresh makeup, and like the whole time, it was like 37 seconds or something it took me. And it's like, oh my God, we're never going.
I
We're
had
never
to
going.
get, I had to get out, Kelly. I can't.
I know,
explain
that's
it.
what
I
I'm
can't
saying.
explain
That's
it.
how.
And time really drags at certain points.
And the
too.
windows wouldn't open. Like, if the
Oh, yeah.
fucking
We were
windows
fucking
would have
stuck
opened.
in
Thank
there.
Yeah.
God somebody.
God,
would've
I'm
died.
reliving it. I'm reliving it.
But see, the worst part too is that when we do leave, we got to go downstairs, walk through the lobby.
Yeah, we were
There's
on the
all
7th
people.
floor of this place.
We're with Ben, who screams out of nowhere all the time.
Yeah, we couldn't trust him even before that shit.
We've already
happened.
bought like 8 $4 beers from
Yeah,
the.
But our
Korg-
ultimate mission, our
the
reason
Desperate-
for leaving the hotel, the reason Kelly drove from Seattle is we have a show to see at 8 o'clock, part of this comedy festival. And then the entire walk there, I was really starting to feel it. And like you said, it would go in waves. I would freak out and feel like I couldn't handle being my own skin. And then I was like, it's great to see everybody who hasn't had a hug in the last 5 minutes. And that's how it continued to be. But PJ, you were just like, I'm like a leaf. I'm blowing in the wind. I don't care where we go.
I never said that.
But I knew.
Yeah.
What did he say, Kelly?
Every 2 seconds, it's like, oh, I can't go to this show.
I said
I
lots
can't. Oh my God, I'm going to this show. I'm going to sit in the front row. Jimmy
gonna-
Pardo's going to jizz on me or something. Like, and then, oh my God, what am I thinking? I just want to walk. I just want to sit here with my brother and make out. with
yeah.
Brad.
There was a lot of back and forth.
Okay. I've been waiting all day to talk about this.
Okay.
When we were walking up towards the show, it was obvious that we were all high. Kelly just got to town. She's wondering where we're going. She's trying to corral 4 stoners. It's quite a walk. And it's all, where are we going to go? Are we going to go to the show? And I felt like Nick was really super nervous about, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What's our plan?
Because you were making me nervous.
And all I kept saying was, it doesn't matter. Like, all I want to do I'm on mushrooms, and the last thing I'm going to do is try to act normal on mushrooms.
And that's why I thought it was safe to stay outside. Let's
Yeah.
just stay outside.
Yeah. And so I was like, maybe we'll go to the show, maybe not. But in my head, I knew that, like, there's no way I'm going to the show.
I knew that in my head too. And then 10 seconds later, I was like, I'm going to fucking see the show. It's going to be
This
the
is
most
this is
amazing thing
all a
ever.
half a mile walk with hardly any talking.
Yeah.
Like this is all just
It
inside
really-
your guys'
yeah.
head. Like
It
you
is.
guys
A
are
lot of it
freaking
really
out.
did
Like,
happen. But
And plus, we
and
relatively
I think
quiet
a
the whole
lot
way,
of
like-
Nick's, oh my God, what's our plan was just you trying to make sure I wasn't like mad.
Yeah, I
Like,
sensed
I
you were
just-
irritable because you just come to town and you're sober.
But that's not
having
the
to
kind
deal
of
with
thing
the-
you should worry about when you're just fucked up
I
on mushrooms.
overanalyze everything. That's just
Yeah.
in my nature. Mushrooms are going to affect people in different ways. But I thought we made a nice dynamic, PJ.
Yeah, I
Because
thought.
you were too free, and I was reining you in a little bit as best I could while still tripping.
Well, this is the thing. When it was like, where are we going to go? Ben is the whole time pulling Zach aside saying, like, this is stupid. What are we doing? Let's go
Yeah.
here. Let's just go to my house and party.
He really wanted
And
us to
all
go to
this
his
kind of-
house and
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
So I can throw a party together right now. Give me
So-
10 minutes. There'll be 50 people in my house.
So there's all these different things going on. And I sort of made a decision, and I was really surprised that I was able to stick to it, that, like, man, whatever happens, no matter who gets mad, and I don't know why I thought that. No one got mad. I am just going to keep on tripping on mushrooms and keep doing what I'm doing right. And I'm not going to, like, even, this is jumping ahead, but later when we were in a bar and Ben's kind of making a scene, I was, like, just focused on, like, just looking around and enjoying hanging on to it for as long as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
on
I think
vacation.
I think it was gone, and then all of a sudden it was back, baby. It was back in a big way. But so we ultimately decided we can't go to the show, and fortunately Kelly was nice enough to bail on the show too and kind of babysit us. So talk about when we're all waiting at that corner and what the plan
Yeah.
was.
So there was no plan, and so I thought that it would be the best for me to just decide this is what we're going to do. And it wasn't even really me deciding this is what we're going to do. It was more like, I'm going to call Devin, just he lives here, suggest a place so we can get there. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A
And a-
bar.
a
That's
beer
all I
would've
needed,
get-
a bar. It didn't
Yeah,
need to
yeah,
be
yeah.
a specific, like, there was nothing we needed to do specifically. I didn't care. I just really wanted to drink. So Devin's like, I'll pick you up on that corner. There's 5 of us at that point, plus Devin. So we'll take you back, get another car so we have room for
And
everyone.
that was the part
And
that I
that's
couldn't.
when it, like,
I couldn't wrap my head around the fact that we were going to separate for a minute. There was
just a
gonna be-
minute, yeah. Because we were like a half mile from the hotel. It would have taken like 2 minutes, grab a car back.
Yeah.
Devin rolls up and you get in and I'm going around the other side and Ben just stands up for a second and is like, dude, Zach, what the fuck are you doing? You don't get in strangers' cars, man. What the fuck are you
Like,
doing?
you
And I'm
guys
like, no,
missed
we
it.
know him. It's
You guys
okay.
missed
It's
it.
okay.
Like, Ben freaked out
Yeah.
when Devin pulled up. He's like, what the fuck is going
Yeah.
on? And I'm like, I'm hopping in, and
I
I
was
don't
in
know
grade
what's
school
going
again. I
on.
was like, I was
And
like,
Zach's
dude,
like, you're going to sit in the back of this fucking car.
it was awful.
And, and to me, like, getting in this car, like, that sounded like the last thing on earth. I was outside now. I was seeing everything. I saw grass and shit like that.
Yeah,
Like
Which
I was ready to go.
It really was perfect because we all couldn't fit. And
Yeah.
so I said, I'll just go with Devin. You guys can all walk. But then Zach didn't want to walk, so that's
Yeah.
fine. I was like,
Well,
okay.
so we're sitting there debating that for a while, and we're like, okay, the bar that we're going to go to is like 13 blocks this way and probably 10 blocks this way.
Yeah.
13th
I'm like-
and Burnside.
And I'm like, fucking perfect, man. That'll be like the perfect
Enough.
amount of time to just walk.
So you thought that was such a great idea that you took off running. I had to catch you.
Yeah.
It was taking too long. I wasn't running. I took off.
You were literally running.
No, not
yes,
true.
yes, he was. Do you recall this?
Yes.
I walked away.
No, you didn't.
You
Yeah.
walked away, but
You were
then you
sprinting.
like,
I wouldn't even say you were
did,
running. You were
like-
sprinting.
I probably ran across the street.
No,
No.
no, that's not all, buddy.
All right.
And
whatever.
I feel
But I
though
caught up with you.
that it was all only just you trying to be like, I feel really bad. Kelly just got here,
yeah.
I did feel really bad.
and I don't want
Which
to.
I would have felt bad about, but my goal was to not feel bad about anything. And I knew, like, that you really didn't care.
No,
We
I
knew
didn't
that we
care
could
if-
have this conversation today, a day later,
Because
and be making fun of
it
ourselves.
would have been like in the first 5 minutes, like, really, we're not fucking going to the show. Like, that's how I would have known you. Once that was like, oh, okay, we'll just go to a bar. To me, it was like, okay, well, it's only 7 o'clock. Who the fuck cares how
Oh,
we
yeah.
all get
The
there?
Nick and
Yeah.
Nora argument.
Yeah.
We got all night.
PJ's,
We'll meet back up, guys. I love you.
PJ's especially clever anyway, but the Nick and Nora line was really funny.
Yeah, that
Should we just leave it at
And then
that
it
and
kept
not explain?
lasting all night.
People think it's like a Thin Man reference. No, the thing is, I wanted to leave. I wanted to go walking. I knew Kelly was
And you
getting
compared
right.
it to a really
Nice
shitty movie.
literary reference.
It was just it was too much other stuff. So I was like, Nick, let's go, let's walk. Like I don't
And
want
I
to be
was-
by myself.
I was so torn because Kelly's on one side. This is how I saw it in my head at the time. Kelly's on this side. PJ's on this side. PJ's my brother. We're sharing this experience, but it's also freaking me out, and I don't want to necessarily lose the crowd.
And which is why I kept
Yeah.
saying to you, dude, it's fine.
This is why I kept saying we know where we're going. We know where we're all going to end up. Like, we'll get there.
Yep.
We will get there.
So-
I wanted to walk and talk and be like faggoty artsy. You know what I mean?
Oh, and he totally was.
And point out colors and talk about Jack Kerouac. And wish I had a notebook to write my thoughts in. And, I mean, this
Why
is,
aren't we recording this right now?
and we talked about it later. It was exactly how I wanted being on mushrooms to be. It was perfect.
It was the experience that we
I had my
been
brother
burned
there.
on. Yeah.
Two things would have made it better if you guys had walked with us and
I don't know. I thought we
and
needed
Ben
that.
had gone home.
Yes. But as far as the people walking with, I thought it was good that we had that branch off alone time.
It was definitely fun in its own right.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad that you guys were stuck in a car with Ben, the crazy person.
Oh, I didn't care at
Which
all.
we
He
haven't
didn't-
even really gotten
He
into.
bugged me, but like I was fine. Like
And I could already see like annoyingness creeping into PJ's eyes, and
Yeah.
you get like, you guys were tripping harder than I was, and I was like, I didn't want to deal with it bad.
Yeah,
at that point, you know,
the
like-
last thing I wanted to do was like worry about what everyone else thought. Have to worry
And
about
I was doing
them.
too much of that, but like I said, I thought we meshed well because of that.
Yeah, and
Like we were humoring each other while tripping big time.
Ben was the exact opposite of what I thought he would be too. I thought he'd be very supportive and like, look, yeah, go for it, dude.
Yeah,
Go
he's the
for it,
one I was
enjoy it."
counting
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
But no, it was like he was telling us we were doing it wrong, that we needed to go to like a heavy metal show.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
right for him.
and then
Everybody
to
has
his-
a
you guys all needed to trip
Yeah.
in his way.
Yeah, and then go to his house and listen to his metal band play
yeah,
and stay there all night long. Like, dude, that's not what I signed up for.
right.
And Ben is one of these guys who gets so fucked up, and I mean, he's been drinking all day and everything like that, to where like you just can't say anything to him. You can't say anything to him. It just he'll forget you said it 5 seconds later and say his same point over.
I
and
feel
over
like we
again.
were kind of that way at certain points.
Yeah, but not in such an aggressive way. At no point were we like, dude, we need to quit doing this and go do this and try to corral everybody with us.
Right.
Like I wanted to go walking, and I was like, I know that you guys are getting in the car, and I'm like, Nick, come with me. We'll be Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist.
But you wouldn't go without Nick. Like you were freaking out about
No,
Nick.
he did
But I
go.
did.
He ran off.
Yeah, but you were like you ran off
It was taking
Knowing
too
that
long.
I would
assuming
follow.
that you
Yeah,
were he
yeah,
was
yeah.
coming right behind you.
Yeah.
And I did. Let's talk a little bit about our long walk to 13th and Burnside.
I do appreciate though that you didn't want me to stand on the corner alone.
Yeah, come on.
Because you were just
That's
running off and
common
everybody else
courtcy.
was, and I was
Common
like,
courtesy.
okay, I'll just stand here on this corner.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mushrooms too. I had to go. I had to go because it ended up lasting for hours. But every time that wave would come and it'd start to go away, I'd be like, "Fuck, it's over."
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? So then when it came back, I'd feel lucky and be like, "Oh, gotta hang on to it. Gotta hang
take
on to it."
advantage. Yeah, let's go sit in the grass.
Yeah,
My ultimate goal for the night was let's just end the night with sitting in some grass and drinking some beer that we
Yeah.
get from a corner store, which does not exist in the area of town we were in.
yeah, crazy. No,
it really
corner
doesn't
stores.
exist downtown at all.
Which
Like,
is
Yeah.
retarded.
Devin and I found two, and neither one of them sold beer or alcohol of any kind. And then finally, we found a third one that was way out of the way and impossiple to park.
Yeah, but you brought beer back to the hotel, and we love
did.
you
Devin
forever.
was
Oh, that's
cheating.
great.
But we're skipping too far ahead. The first thing
Yes,
about
sorry.
our walk, PJ, is it was just about like you were just constantly telling me not to worry about things because I kept saying everybody's waiting at the bar. We don't know how Ben and Zach are doing.
Do we even
separate-
know where we're going?
And I kept like thinking that we'd made a pact before we took the shrooms about how we're going to stick together. We're not going to, but apparently we never made that pact. And I just made it in my own head. And then I was like, Zach and Ben could be anywhere. Meanwhile, we have telephones.
and we knew they were
Some
at the
stranger's
bar.
car.
That was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
We knew where they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know that we knew, but I kept forgetting and thinking we were going the wrong way and overanalyzing, to be
Yeah.
sure. But you calmed me down. At one point, we started talking about the show and how we'll never quit doing it because recently there's been talk about, is this person really into this? Yeah, the other one's just too paranoid. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, guys, we're going for a solid 200 at least.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
to know.
Does that mean we can quit at 200,
Yeah.
please?
See, this is what I'm talking about.
What do you think people would think right now if they walk by? And
I know, the window's wide open at this
sitting here
hotel.
with these microphones.
We're at a hotel in Portland that your brother-in-law? That's
Uh,
incorrect.
Andy's brother. Man.
He hooked us up with a free hotel, so I'm giving
Yeah,
him
it
a
was
shout
really
out and saying
awesome
thank
of
you.
him.
Anyway, so the first thing was we were walking and we were bonding, talking about, it's so awesome that we hang out the way that we do now. And then it came to a point where we decided we were going to hug each other. but we're awkward huggers, as we always
were
say.
sitting in an amphitheater little thing.
Yeah.
On these steps, and there was all these crazy bricks and all different colors, and we were looking at them. And I just kept saying, like, just stop for a minute, just quit looking at your phone for a minute, and just look at these bricks. Because you will never see colors move around like this until the next time we're
you do
shrooming.
mushrooms.
And I'm sure it's different for everyone, but I feel like we saw probably the exact same thing. But yeah, I think I got to the point where I was like, I really want to hug you now, but that would just be weird. And you're like, no, dude, it won't be weird. Let's just hug. And then, so we go in for the hug, and I'm commenting on how awkward it is. And then you're like, don't do that, dude. Let's just hug.
I'm just hugging him so tight and close to me.
It was a moment. It was a nice moment.
Gay out like that all the time. This is
Not
nothing,
to the point where we're physically hugging, though.
This is nothing unique to mushrooms. Every time you're together, anybody that's around you guys together knows. It's like, oh, it's the Nick and PJ show.
He's
Always.
my favorite. He's my favorite. No offense to either of you.
No, it's fine, and I get that, and I think it's awesome. But
Okay.
I just don't feel like the relationship was deepened in any way. with mushrooms.
I disagree.
Okay.
And the only other thing I want to talk about on the walk to the bar, which we eventually found, is that
we were never lost. quit acting like we were lost.
Well,
We really weren't, and
we walked at the
PJ,
13th, turned right.
I kept thinking we were lost because it was so many blocks. And so I think originally it started as I'm going to ask somebody for directions. I'm pretty sure we're going the wrong way. And so I asked somebody for directions. You're like, dude, and they gave us the directions on the path that we were already headed. And then you're like, I told you we were going the right way. And then I decided I'm going to create a bit where every other person that walks by, and it's Friday night in Portland, I'm going to ask for directions like I have no idea where we are. And I didn't put a spin on it. That was basically it. I was like, hey, we're looking for 13th and Burnside. And then they would tell us, oh, yeah, you're going in the right direction. And I kept doing it over and over again. And PJ was so irritated and then over it.
I was not irritated. I just thought it was a dumb bit.
Yeah, it wasn't a bit.
It's a little dumb. At least add something.
It was a little too
The
much.
fact that I didn't add something is what I think makes it such a clever bit.
It was too much talking to strangers and not enough looking at the sun.
But part of me felt the need to talk to strangers too.
And maybe that was his trip, and you
Yeah,
you
it
need
was,
to be in
and
the
it-
metal club.
and,
with Ben,
I may have been a little pessimistic about it.
Kelly,
at the beginning.
are you on mushrooms now?
I was a little pessimistic about it in the beginning, but I joined in the fun.
Yeah, at the end he was asking for directions, and then
But the best part is at the end.
we made it to 13th and Burnside, and I asked somebody where 13th and Burnside was. That was my
Good.
favorite. So the bit led to something eventually.
Yeah.
And then we stood outside of the bar for 20 minutes, smoked 8 more cigarettes.
And then
called me like 12 times.
And then when you called me back and was like, hey, what's up? What? What's going on? I'm right outside the bar. What are you talking about?
And then unfortunately we get into the bar, and now Ben has fucking had enough. And
Oh,
you guys
my.
can fill in how he was being.
That's right. We weren't there. We were having
That
our
whole
time.
time we were gone.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
How long had you
Yeah.
been at the bar before we got there? Because it felt like hours.
It probably took us about an hour total.
maybe
Yeah,
an
I
hour,
think you're.
'cause
Yeah.
I
something
had
like
at
that.
least like 2 or 3 drinks, and we had already played like a game.
You were in a
Yeah.
much better mood by the time we got
Oh,
there.
man.
You-
But I wouldn't even say I was in a bad mood. I really just
No, I
wanted
know.
a drink
Yeah.
after that drive, and I had a really crappy day at work, and was pissed off anyway.
Let's talk about that. Forget the.
Let's not. So yeah, Ben, we're just at the bar, and Ben's like, "No, I can't play pool. No, I can't sit here." I was like,
Well,
we were
something
not-
Ben does is if people start beating him at something, he gets like really like, "Oh, I'm just fucked up. I'm just fucked up. Fuck
Yeah.
this place. Fuck this place." And so Devin was kicking his ass at pool, and so Ben
Oh,
was
is
getting
that what it
really,
was?
really
And
irritated
it was
about
like
it.
the
Yeah,
pool table's fault.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was talking shit about the pool
To be
table.
fair, it
And
was
they'd be
the
like,
pool table's fault.
Devin's sober. That guy's sober. Oh, fuck this. Like,
Yeah, and it's like
Okay.
the pool table's too long, so like Devin gets us a new pool table, like moves down to a shorter
Yeah.
one.
The
and
pool
then-
table is too long. I haven't
That's
heard
what
any
he
of
said.
this.
Yeah, I mean, he had a
which is
problem
like $6 an hour to rent. I
Yeah.
mean, the guy
Yeah.
this is all money out of Devin's pocket,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, to
Wow.
make Ben
And the
happy.
free hotel.
And by the
Jesus
time
Christ.
I
Guys,
get there,
awesome.
like, I'm loving life at this point. I sit at the bar, I'm having a beer, and then I get a shot, and I bring it over.
Exactly.
The shot ruined
That's where
me.
I'm at
Yeah.
that point. I'm
And-
like,
Yeah.
I don't care how stoned you are.
Yeah,
I am great now.
yeah, and now I'm looking at all, like, the crazy tile things that were inside the bar, and Ben's just like, dude, this is fucking gay. This pool table
He
sucks.
was-
We need to go to a bar where we can just sit. And I'm like, Ben,
We are just sitting.
whether or not this pool table sucks, we're sitting here. We're sitting.
We
at
have a
our
pitcher
own-
of beer. Sit down for
Yeah.
a few.
Pitcher
Or go
of beer.
outside. We don't give a
We
fuck.
got
We'll
our
find
own
you.
little chunk of space. We got a pool table.
Yeah.
We got a waitress that's bringing us booze anytime we wanted.
Yeah, she was cool.
I felt like everything was awesome at that
And if I go into a group with like 2 guys I know and then like 3 people who I don't know too well, like if I'm the outsider, let's call him the outsider of this group. I don't, I don't try to change for them, but
you try to be accommodating.
It's kind of their party, You're kind of outnumbered. You were invited out with them. I don't try to change everybody.
Got free shrooms out of it.
Into
Yeah,
what
no
I
kidding.
want. And all he did was complain. It's like, dude, we gave you free pot, free beer, and free shrooms all day
of
long.
which I
Yeah.
took no part in.
Yeah.
Of course not.
I bought him 2 pitchers of beer there. Like I was,
Yeah,
And I was just trying to keep
buying
it
him beer.
filled because as long as there's a beer, he'll.
I
Just
know,
calm
but
him
nothing.
down. Yeah,
Oh, and
yeah.
then the guys next to us were trying to beat him up.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
kept staring him down. Like I was like, Ben, you get it. Like
And talking really loudly about
Yeah.
how
Talking
they
loudly
wanted
started
about
sways and just,
them
like, fucking
and
glares at
staring
him. I'm like,
them,
yeah.
and they were pretty cool enough to not be like,
yeah.
if they were douchebags, they probably would have.
I walked
Yeah.
by to the bathroom. They were talking about it, definitely.
They were definitely talking about it, but they were only because Ben was loudly saying.
Yeah,
But then
staring them
Devin saves the
down.
day again by drinking the beer out of the pool ball holder.
Oh, that's
he spills
right.
the beer and then drinks
Devin
it.
spilled
And
beer
then,
in the pool ball
then those
holder,
guys
and
come
then-
over and they're like, "Hey,
You're
props,
awesome.
dude. You're fucking awesome, dude."
You
Made
drank
good.
chalk. You're my hero.
That
Yeah.
was so gross.
I feel like when we piled out of the hotel, like when it first started hitting us, long before we got into the bar, didn't we exit the hotel and Ben was already saying, "Let's get in a fight."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably. Yeah.
Yes,
I-
and that's where I felt he was at with those guys. Like he was trying to make it happen, but they were just too like, we're just here to drink.
He's the exact same Ben.
They were the totally harmless guys that he wanted to pick a fight with.
Yeah.
So I think that if in that original walk, if Ben was with us at just being like a downer the whole time, that would
It
have
would have
ruined
ruined it
everything.
for you.
Yeah.
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 Like it really would have, because I mean I was just enjoying myself. And then eventually at the bar, he's like just insisting we leave. And I'm like, you know what, Ben, let's fucking go. Let's go. I'll take you. We'll go somewhere. We walk 2 blocks over. There's the huge bookstore.
Pals, we can
Yeah.
call it by name.
Love it.
And-
ImaginePals.com.
And I'm like, fucking awesome. I've been talking and thinking about Kerouac all night. Let's go in there. I'm going to buy Big
Just
Sur.
so gay.
I'm on a budget this weekend. He's telling me all day the day before, and yet you spent $15 on a rare Kerouac or some shit.
I don't think it was rare. It's just kind of old looking.
Yeah.
So.
It'll look great on
It's
your
like
bookshelf,
3rd
buddy.
edition instead of
Yeah.
sixth.
So we go in there, and of course, he's just got the biggest problem in the world there. And all I can think at this point is, I got to get rid of this guy. So I kind of ditched him in the bookstore because he's just walking around going, man, what the fuck is this? Fucking bookshelf. Fucking
Curious
people.
George? I'm more curious
See,
than that
I
guy.
feel like if I were to ever participate in such illegal activities, that I would.
Which you wouldn't.
Wouldn't you love going to that
Powell's
bookstore?
would be awesome.
Dude,
Yeah.
I like.
It
I'll
would-
tell you, I had no desire to go to the bookstore.
Usually when
Go
I'm
to
in
the
a-
comic book section. Oh man.
I mean, they have every section in the world you
Yeah.
could think
Yeah.
of, so
Yeah.
you could just and even if you
upstairs,
don't even
downstairs,
like books, you
Yeah.
just
green room, blue room.
wander. There's colors, there's people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. You know, you could be in an open space, you could be in a little closed
And
space.
I
you could-
usually don't like being around a lot of people, but this is one of the first times I've been in a bookstore, and I'm seriously just browsing every aisle, and like I don't care if there's someone standing right next to me. I'm not going to freak out and go to a different aisle. Like I'm just fucking here being there, and the whole time my phone's just buzzing. Ben's just calling.
And we're
This is
calling at
annoying.
certain points, making sure that you guys are
Yeah,
cool.
from somewhere in the store, he's just calling. So finally, I'm downstairs in the kids section. I'm trying to find my kids some books,
That's a
That's a
good
great
thing
time to do it.
when you're on mushroom.
and
Here's the Diary of Anne Frank. Enjoy 2.5 years old.
and so he calls me and he tells me he's outside and his roommate's coming to pick him up. And I'm like, fucking A,
Yeah.
man. Nice.
Awesome.
That's
So I go outside to stand with him while his roommate's coming up. And that whole experience is him like literally jumping on top of me, throwing his arm around my neck, going, I fucking love you, man. But like just swinging me around, hitting me in the gut over and over again.
and he's a fit guy. This guy.
Yeah.
Open
he's there, yeah.
palmed, just fucking smack right on my. Just I'm getting
ouch.
so fucking pissed.
Oh boy.
And I told him, you need to stop. Like fucking. And the whole thing is telling me how I'm tripping wrong, how I screwed it up. And I'm like, what, dude? The only part about tonight that isn't fun. And like I say, I'm still hanging on, and I'm still ignoring him. And all I could think is like, I'm not going to be embarrassed by people walking by. I got nothing on me I can get in trouble for.
Right.
Yeah.
If I went into a breathalyzer, I wouldn't even blow over the limit. I couldn't get a drink
Yeah,
in the store. Nothing.
Blood
Like
test.
I'm just fucked up on mushrooms, but not outwardly.
Sometimes outwardly. At the beginning, definitely
Yeah,
outwardly.
pretty outwardly.
I told him like you just the only part that sucks about my trip right now is just quit, man. Just quit fucking saying we got to go here, and let's just stay and go. Okay. Dude, what are we fucking standing here for? Let's go. Like it was so then he gets sad that I yelled at him, lays down on the sidewalk. Just fucking killer. And then of course his roommate never shows up. So now we're going back to the hotel and we've got crazy fucking out of his mind Ben coming with us now.
Yeah,
the whole
and Kelly,
time
you had thought that we ditched this guy. Like there was already word that he was getting picked up, right?
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden he's back at the hotel with us.
And it's not like we hate the guy. It's just a big headache right now.
Yeah.
Like,
and
we
how
just
did you
want
guys
that to
walk
be
all
over.
the way back?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Okay, because I was so excited.
And by
'cause
that time, I don't know. I'm sorry to
Oh, no,
interrupt.
it's okay.
By that time, when we were coming back with Ben, and he's obviously still super fucked up, that was the come down time for
Yeah,
me. By the
yeah.
time we got back to the hotel, I just wanted to drink and smoke a little pot.
Yeah.
And for Ben to go home.
And for Ben to go home.
For Ben.
Because he was too much. Like, I was at the point where, like, this may have been a little bit fun earlier, ironically even, but now I just want to fucking chill out, and you're not going to allow that to happen.
Yeah, and we're all in the hotel. Like, we booked the hotel for 2 people. There's like
And it's a
7
nice
of us
place.
there.
It's a nice place.
I know, and I brought an extra person. Which
And you got yelled at by the security guard when we pulled up
yeah,
because you were being too loud,
Devin and I were just hanging out outside, and then
waiting for us.
I think it was right when you guys showed up. Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, all of us were like, blah, 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 and he comes out and is like,
Well, because
guys.
Ben just screams at the
Yeah.
top of
Yeah,
his lungs.
Ben's
I mean,
walking, and anytime anybody walks by and says anything, he's like, "What?" Like just fucking out. And then
Karate chopping parked cars.
Yes.
and then we get
boy.
upstairs, and he'll sit there. No one can see this, but he'll sit in a chair and zone out, mumble, look around, and then scream. And just yell, and we're like, Ben, quit! He's knocking over
Literally
shit.
no
left and right.
exaggeration.
What time is it at this point in the night?
Well, so I went with Devin, and I thought I was like, oh, thank God
Like
they're going to
11.
ditch him somehow before
Yeah,
you guys
yeah.
get. And when you guys started walking up to us, he had his hair down, and I was like, "Dude, they pick up a girl?" Like I really
When
thought
he puts
you
his
were
hair
walking-
down, he does look
I
very
know. I
feminine.
was like, they picked up a girl and brought her up. And I was like,
yeah, because you know
"Oh."
us, we would do that.
You never know on mushrooms.
Disappointed when I realized it. But now I feel better because I felt like all night I don't think I was bitchy to him. Like I think I was really nice to him. But I felt like really annoyed by him all night, and I thought you guys were all friends with him, and I was like,
Well, you are friends with him, to be sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it
I don't
was-
vouch
but
for this
mean-
guy, but
yeah,
they
I don't
certainly
mean
do.
Like I have friends that I hate, I can't stand. But
I think we're just used to it. I think, and it kind of like when you have other people witnessing it, kind of for the first time.
Sure.
yeah.
like you just kind of become
But
more
I,
aware
what
of
I
it
meant,
too.
I
like-
guess, is like I didn't realize you guys were annoyed too, so I felt
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, you didn't want to be
for
like, oh, well, you know,
this guy's so
I'm
lame.
the one person that's like getting pissed. But
You are far from the only.
yeah,
I know that Ben's like that, but I hadn't seen him in so long.
yeah.
And then I didn't think he would be like that. You know what I mean? I had a totally different idea of how the night would go. Because that was another big reason I didn't want to go to that comedy show, is because earlier in the night I told him, hey, why don't you come with us? And that was the last. I did not want to be sitting in a theater watching Jimmy Pardo
With
and have
Ben.
Ben in there picking fights and screaming out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's not respectful of Pardo, first of
Yeah.
all.
And
Yeah,
I
I
will
did-
say in his defense, though, there were some points during the night he wasn't so bad. Like we were hanging out at the bar.
Well, he was going in waves. just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
everybody
Yeah,
else.
like I brought up the party, your first birthday party,
Uh-huh.
and then he just went off on this like how cool it was and how fun.
Oh, yeah, he was there for my
Yeah.
25th/1st birthday.
Yeah, we were.
And he brought his iguana.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
we
To
were
Kelly's credit,
exchanging some-
you could calm Ben down like quite a bit last night. Like,
Yeah, so I
you,
felt like then it was fine.
he
And
would
then-
focus like when you were talking to him. Like, you
Yeah.
wouldn't be like, "Rah."
Yeah,
My
it felt
band.
like he wasn't focusing any time I tried. I was like, dude, just
yeah,
we're having
yeah.
fun. Come on. And he's like, I've checked out on you, buddy.
Yeah.
I remember at
I can
one
see his
point-
eyes glaze over.
Yeah.
At one point, we were walking back to the hotel, and Nick tells me, I'm giving this guy a lot of shit right now. I better lay off. I don't want to get beaten up.
Oh yeah, because
You
on that
bet.
walk back, like I would make like snide remarks because I was at my come down point and he was annoying me.
And he's saying every block, where are we going? To the hotel. Why the fuck are we going there? Let's go home. And all I want to say, and I was like, do you want us to call you a cab or what? And he's like, I just want to get my bike.
Oh, because the bike was in your car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I just want to get my bike. So we think that's what it is. We get to the hotel, and all he's doing is just coming upstairs with us. And the security guard had already talked to us, and I'm like, Now they're watching us. We're all piling into this room. We got a bunch of beer, and it's our right to do that because we rented the room. But with all the people,
still, yeah.
I know that we're going to be smoking.
In my defense, I did put a towel under the door.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
So
I
you
know-
couldn't smell the beer, right?
Right.
I know that when we get upstairs, we're going to be smoking pot, and so I'm just
Smoking beer, right?
Beer.
and you know I've come down quite a bit, and I just want to like enjoy myself and relax and not have to worry about getting kicked out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Ben's yelling, knocking shit over.
Oh, he knocked 3 beers over, I feel like, in 3 minutes.
It was,
And
It
that
was
was
None of them
hard.
his own either.
It
It
was
was like
3.
mine over and over again. Thanks,
I
buddy.
did spill Diet Coke on myself, so I felt like an idiot a
Yeah,
little
but it
bit.
was Diet Coke and it was on yourself.
on myself. Every
and you weren't being
other,
out of control.
like every 2 or 3 minutes, Ben was again like flailing, and then beer.
Yeah.
Beer
Yeah.
everywhere.
And
And there was blood on the carpet.
There was?
Yeah, by the couch. How did that happen?
I don't know, man. He made that whole walk in flip flops, so maybe.
Oh, yeah, and he
Maybe
did jam up his
cut
toe
himself.
earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I didn't know he left.
I think it
blood
is
on the carpet.
PJ's time of the month too. So
Oh,
Nice, Zach.
sorry,
Nice.
PJ. Oh, now that explains why he's being such a bitch.
Yeah.
So that was really the first point in the night where like paranoia and unfun was coming into my life.
Yeah, I could tell you were not having a great time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and because
But
all
you
I can
also
think
hadn't
is,
eaten all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it
At
wasn't
all, literally.
dude. It was not even that. It was honestly Ben. Like I just thought like, and I feel bad saying this now, but like I wish we hadn't called him because this hotel's in my name. This hotel's in my wife's name.
Alvina's name.
Like, I just wish that he wasn't acting like this. So at one point, he goes downstairs to leave, to get his bike and
This
to
is
leave.
after you'd been basically ignoring him, laying on the bed,
Well,
and he was humping you. Like he was literally humping
we
you.
get
right?
back in. I sit on the couch. He straddles me and starts humping me like cock to cock. I'm like, Ben, come, not right
Gross.
now. You know what I mean? Like fucking.
I like that your response is, Ben, not right now. Maybe at a later time.
Maybe later.
And so I moved to the other side of the room. I lay down in the bed. I'm looking at the ceiling, trying to hang on to that last little bit of
I
mushroom
can't believe you were
high.
still going. I was gone. I was
And-
done by that point.
And he jumps into bed with me, and I'm like, can you just stop? Like, because, as pictures will show, I was laying in that, I stayed in one spot, and Kelly's like, oh, let's take pictures of laying down with PJ. Kelly's laying there, Zach's laying there. All that's fine. It's that Ben, it lays down, and I'm like, all right. And then just rolls over on top of me. And I'm like, can you get the... And he's already knocking shit over. He's been pissing me off for hours at this point. And he just ruined it. Like, he was ruining everything for me. So when he left, I was so excited.
We all were, buddy.
He gets on his
Balloons
bike.
went up as soon
Yeah.
as the door
I
closed.
know. All he's like wanting to get down to his bike. I'm like, I'll take you down there, man.
Yeah.
I got PJ's keys. I will personally take it out of the car for you.
Yeah. He gets his bike. His roommate's going to pick him up a couple of blocks away. Pickup truck, throw his bike in the back. Good to go. He takes off, and and I came upstairs. No more laying on the bed and zoning
Yeah, you were
out.
hanging out again,
Yeah,
finally.
Now I'm sitting there, and then the phone rings. It's Ben.
And
Can-
we were,
We
were,
all
don't
told
answer,
you
don't
not
answer,
to
don't answer. But you got to answer. Who
He's
knows?
outside in flip-flops and a tank top, and like,
Good point. And I tried to get him to put on a fucking sweatshirt or something.
Yeah.
And he would not.
But then again, like my memory of fucked up Ben is him just leaving.
Oh.
Like he would just always disappear. Like you would have
Yeah.
Ben for most of the night. He'd be fucked up, stumbling, and then you'd just be gone. And
Yeah.
you'd see him the next day, and be like, hey, what's up, guys?
and that's what I was hoping for. But yeah, it's like, oh, my roommate can't find me. Can I sleep on your
Yeah.
floor?
Ugh.
So I go downstairs. I'm waiting forever for him outside.
Oh, that's
He's
right.
not showing up.
I forgot you went to go get him, and I was so
Yeah.
upset. I was like,
We all were. We
Yeah.
were stewing
Yeah.
upstairs. We were stewing.
yeah. And so was I outside. I was
Yeah.
like, motherfucker. So then he's not coming. He's not coming. I call him
And
and tell
then you
him,
came back alone.
hey, dude, I'm going upstairs.
Spoiler alert.
And he says, he's a couple blocks up. His roommate can't find him, because Ben can't explain to him where he is. I can't, because I don't know. And his bike is broken. He put the wheel back on his bike wrong. And what's going on? I'm just going to curl up in a street alley and fall asleep. I'm like, Ben, quit being stupid. Come back. And then he's like, "Oh my God, my roommate's here!" Like, awesome.
Yeah.
Run back upstairs. I'm like, boom, thank God. You guys are insanely relieved to see me walk. Like,
alone. Like
I walk in and I get like the looks of, oh, here we go. And then the door closes
just
behind
PJ,
me.
and then it's
Oh my
just
God,
oh
really?
my God, I'm so excited.
And then
And then 5 minutes later, another phone call.
Again, don't answer. Don't
answer. And he did again. Because you're a
Again.
good friend. You're a
Hello?
good friend.
He did
Yeah.
it the first time. Like, he let it go to voicemail or whatever, but then he called right back.
Yeah, because, well, he said that his roommate found him, so I thought he was probably just calling to say goodnight or something. I'm like, fuck that. But he calls again, and I answer, and his roommate absolutely can't find him. And I'm like, what's going on? So what's going on? What are we supposed to do here? I'm not going to get in my car all fucked up and go pick you up. Are you walking back here? You can sleep on the floor, but you have to shut up. And I'm just like, this ruins everything. And then just while talking to him, I hear a horn honk, and God is on my side again. And he's like, oh my God, my fucking roommate's here.
Thank God.
So that first time when his roommate was there, did he imagine that? Was that a vision?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I heard honking that time too. But maybe, I don't know, maybe Ben turned the other way and fell into a bush or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was we were supposed to talk about our shrooms experience. I didn't want to just shit talk Ben, but
No,
I mean,
all in all,
he was
it was a
on
great experience.
Yeah,
I would say.
yeah.
he was on the verge of ruining it for me so many times, and that just made me mad.
I'm glad that wasn't me, because when we had our I'm paranoid, you're Kerouac walk, I was worried that it was me that was bringing down your buzz.
No. Well, my buzz wasn't being brought down then. It just kept getting better. Honestly, all I could
We
think
were at
is,
our peak, though.
all I could think is, this is perfect, man. I'm out of town.
It's raining. We're in Portland, and it's raining.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was really significant.
I
don't laugh.
know, it really was.
I'm on vacation, and I'm on shrooms, and they worked, and I'm not having a bad trip.
I remember, this is probably inappropriate and will be cut out. At one point, on our one-on-one session, when we were fully loaded.
Fully naked.
Yes. That happened in the park.
Talk about some.
But I was like, hey, would it be weird to talk about your kid? And you're like, well, it depends on what way we talk about her, which I thought was funny. But I just wanted to talk about the beauty that was your daughter.
Yeah.
She's so beautiful and awesome.
And I
and
sobered
funny.
up
God.
instantly when he said that.
I
was
know.
like,
I ruined it. In that moment, I ruined it.
I was like, you know what, dude? I know where you're coming from, but
but you don't want to be reminded.
No, it's not that. I'm like, I'm on drugs. I don't want to be talking about my family when I'm on.
All
drugs.
I wanted to talk about was Sophie until the next wave came.
Because then I'm thinking like, oh, what is she doing now? She's not with me. I'm out of town and on drug. I didn't want any of that harshness coming in to my, because I will go somewhere like that immediately in my head, and once I go down that road, I'm never going to come out of it. So yeah, so I was like, let's not talk about that.
But there were a lot of like I would start a conversation, 10 seconds into it, realize no, this is a better story, and and they weren't stories. It's like, let's ask each other questions. Let's get to the bottom of shit. You know what else is surprising, and I'm thankful for, is aside from Sophie, which I awkwardly tried to throw in there, we didn't really talk about family at all. Aside from loving each other as brothers.
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to. That was wrong. I wanted to talk about the scenery and fucking.
I feel like every time around you guys, you talk about all that stuff.
I know.
I just don't feel like it was any different because you were.
Well, no. Every time you're around us, we're talking about family and stuff, but we didn't want to talk about that.
Or just like.
What?
I don't know, brotherly stuff.
Well,
I feel
we're
like
brothers.
you're both always. Okay. I remember back when you and I first moved in together, and PJ and Alvina came to visit.
You're talking to me, not Zach. That'd be confusing. There's 4 people here. You got
I
to
know, and
address
I
who you're
was
talking
looking
to.
at you. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
but that doesn't
Okay.
mean anything.
I forget.
Get it now?
Anyway, go on.
Well, I was just finishing that story leading into the similar one. I was just going to say, when we first moved in together, Nick and me, I feel like they came to visit, and there were a few times I remember we'd be sitting outside, and then you guys would just like stay out there after we all went in and just like
Well, that was
brotherly gay out, because it was like right after.
Why is it gaying out to like talk to
I don't know,
each other?
because that's what we call it behind your back.
And we're talking about very specific things that nobody else could have any interest in.
Yeah, and it was way before the podcast.
But that was the planting seeds, I feel like, of the podcast. It's like we love having these conversations, and we were like, other people want to hear this.
Yeah, well, it was like
I contradicted what I just said, but
every party we go to, we're sitting in the corner just talking to each other. What if we recorded that? Like, that was the idea of the podcast.
But it wasn't just that. It was like, because, we'd be inside or, like, we'd be outside, and you guys were inside your room, because your room was right outside the
I remember that. I know where you're going.
So many times I was hearing you guys like, oh man, just like totally like in the moment talking about childhood and whatever. But I also feel that that was right after you guys, not right after, but shortly after you guys kind of reconnected.
Storytelling was out of your life, so
yeah, we had a bad spell, and that was coming out of it.
It was coming out of it.
Yeah.
And because I know when you and I went over to Yakima,
and now this was like really the first time we started hanging out, and we both smoked pot and drank beer together and stuff like that.
We were on the same dirtbag level.
Yeah.
But still, man, you guys were just getting these like deep.
And we still do. I love it. I love PJ. I'll make love to him right here and now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's a Ben comment right there. Mr. Obnoxious.
No, Ben commented with his thrust. I just said it from across the room.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, it was just so annoying last night. Like,
super gay.
Fucking.
Hey, before we go back to Ben, Kelly, were you going to say something about we went to Yakima one time? Was that while I was still dating or not as close with PJ?
Storytelling.
Oh fuck.
You were still dating storytelling. You were driving. No, actually, it was right after you came up here or came out back to Seattle. You and I had only known each other for a few months, and it wasn't to the point yet where you were gonna, like, you were driving for booty calls or whatever to Portland. It was before that, so you were done with.
That's why I'm here this weekend. What's up?
Whoa.
Because that thing had just happened with Jessica and the email and stuff and storytelling, and then
is there a story there? Or?
Yeah, there's a story. We can get to that.
Oh yeah, no, I think we have talked about that.
Yeah,
right?
You guys have talked about it on
like your girlfriend sent your coworker a super bitchy email.
No, that was me.
Oh. She sent me Kelly a really bitchy email.
Yeah.
Such a bitchy email that bitch was in the subject line.
Yeah,
but
the
referring
subject
to you.
was "You're kind of a bitch," which has been my nickname.
And the screen name was Boring.
Yeah, I love it. And because it's so true.
Yeah,
like I don't feel like I'm really a bitch, but
I mean, I got a lot of bad things.
Kind of. Yeah.
I have a lot of criticisms against storytelling, but she was right on that one. She was right on the money.
Jackass. But so then we went to Yakima, and that was, I feel like it was one of the first few trips back there where you were like hanging out and like you were really reconnecting.
Yeah, I'm sure you were glad you were there for that.
It was fun. I totally had fun over there, except for when fucking PJ and his bitch of a wife stole the fan from us. It's like 103.
Yeah.
We're sleeping in their living room.
We're guests in Yakima, Eastern Washington.
What? Exactly.
In the middle of summer.
Your guess. I
have more than one fan. That's all I can say.
Yeah. But why do I have to
fucking
suffer?
Redneck.
Why do I have to suffer just because I have guests in my house?
But it was more
like, hey guys, why don't you put me out a little more by also taking my fan?
Get air conditioning like an adult.
Alvina was all nice and like brought it out there for us. It was like, here you go, guys, and then snuck out like as soon as we fell asleep.
It was her that went back and retrieved it.
I remember that night. We were in bed for like 5 minutes. I was like, you got to go back out. That was a bad move. I get hotter than me and my daughter. Like,
yeah, your daughter's a big sweaty pig.
We do not do blankets or anything like that. Wide open window, like, and Albina is such a cold person all the time that she won't recognize that Sophie isn't like that. So she'll go in there every 10 minutes and tuck her deep into the blanket, turn on the heat, make sure the window's closed and shit like that. And then, you go in there 20 minutes later to check on her, and I mean, she's just drenched in sweat. Like, it's crazy. She's just like me in that way. I got to sleep window open, almost no clothes, and maybe a thin sheet. But the weird thing about that, okay, so when we're at home, I can't wear a shirt or anything like that in bed. If I'm wearing pajama pants, I have to roll them up,
How we get into this lane?
But listen. But anytime, like,
he's building to something.
I'm staying at Nick's house or in the hotel last night or something like that, I'll sleep with my fucking shoes on, my sweater on. Like, it doesn't matter.
But you turned the AC on. It was like freezing in the room last night.
According to you, it felt amazing to me.
Well, I had turned the AC
so
on
cold.
in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But you had the bed, which is right where this huge vent was. And I wanted you to have the bed, but I was jealous about that huge vent being right there.
I feel real bad about sleeping a bit.
But
I didn't.
No. I don't think you and I have talked about it today. That cot was insanely comfortable.
Oh, because
It
I
was
was
so
totally
nice.
fine with sleeping on that or the couch. I just went to lay down in the bed, waiting
Yeah.
for you guys to like kind of chill out.
Yeah.
And then before I know it, I'm passed out. You guys are walking to fucking
Pita
pit.
pit.
It's not like it was like a half-inch thick mattress and a big metal bar. Or
No,
anything
yeah,
like
it
that.
looks
Like,
pretty
It was
nice.
a very nice cot.
And you did have that because I
Zach-
called.
Zach,
the
who's a
restaurant.
6'8" monster,
Sleeps in the chair.
just sleeps sitting straight up in the chair and wakes up. Man, that was fucking comfortable,
I
man.
know.
It was great. It was like
Sleep
so
in my
bad.
bed.
Like
I woke up in the middle of the night and saw you there. I was like, oh,
Me
this is
too.
fucked
Like
up.
4 a.m. I was like, what the fuck? Look at all this floor space.
Zach, I could've-
leaves.
Or
No.
just anything.
and floor space, I always end up like having to put my legs, like curl my legs up somewhere around a corner,
Yeah.
or like under a table or something. It was great just having somewhere I could just like lay all the way flat out.
I feel like
stretched out. I was like, oh my god.
I could have slept on
Amazing.
you sleeping on that chair and
Yeah.
been more comfortable than you
Seriously.
were.
I don't know. That chair was great. Man.
You know, there was a switch on the side of that chair where you could have.
No, I reclined it.
reclined-
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not a
I had it all
6'8"
the way
monster.
But it's just funny because like you're wearing your hat, your hoodie over it,
Yeah, your
hands in your like you
shoes.
could
It
have
really
been.
was fucking cold in that apartment.
Like, I
was
think for a
freezing
second
when I fell
I
asleep.
thought you were like awake and just staring at me at 4 in the morning.
No, I did. I thought that too in the middle of the night for a while. I thought you were just like, oh
Just
man,
thinking
is this like a side
pensively.
effect of mushrooms?
You
can't
instinctively look
sleep?
at my crotch and you're like, oh god, is he?
He's got that morning. Yeah, he's looking at me.
Gross.